It's now my pleasure to introduce to you a long-time friend. It feels a long time, doesn't it, Professor Carvalko? But we met at SINS21 in Toronto. You drove all the way, I think it was, or flew with Cara Morris to present a topic at SINS. And today you're gracing us with your presence. You're at Yale University, a long-time affiliation with Quinnipiac University. You're a patent lawyer, you're an engineer, you're a writer, you're a pianist, you're a polymath. I just adore you. Welcome to our workshop. I can hear you clearly.
I say you're too generous, okay, as always, and I'm intimidated by the folks that you've aligned for this conference. It's quite substantial, quite impressive. So just talk a little bit about a perspective on AI and creativity. Most of what we've heard thus far has focused on technology. And the question is, to what degree, to what extent, do these conversations miss out, I guess, to some extent, on considering the aspect of creativity? In other words, the more humanistic element, okay, of technology, that piece that's hard to define. No other living being thinks or creates as prolifically as humans, who now fashion a way out of their own essence. That which makes us human. I'm referring to the construction of a world run on artificial intelligence. For me, essence equates to life's emotion, its rationality, its ego, desire, ambition, sociability, free will, byproducts of biological evolution, where at this very moment in time, we are all endpoint of 350,000 years of Homo sapiens life on the planet. Each of these human dimensions comprise an expansible outer shell, through which I, and presumably each of us, express our capacity to see beauty, to know love, to feel empathy, to exercise our power to think imaginatively. Essence instantiates each individual and collectively. Apropos to today's conversation, separates us from insentient life and technology. In 1881, a full century and a quarter before the rise of AI, Oscar Wilde, a favorite author and poet of mine, in Panthea wrote something along the lines, "We beat of systole and of diastole. One great life throbs through Earth's giant heart, and mighty waves of a single being roll from nerveless germ to man. For we are all part of every rock and bird and beast and hill, with one with the things that prey on us, and one with what we kill." The one with the things that prey on us, and the one with things which we kill. In 125 years after Oscar Wilde's astute reflection, is what are the things that prey on us? In the Old Testament's book of Ezekiel is written the 4 words, sword, famine, wild beasts, and plague. The sword or war, famine, and plague have decimated Earth's inhabitants before and since the 6th centuries BC, when Ezekiel first memorialized the apocalypse of the human condition. Wild beasts no longer threaten the world, but technology does. Witness the potential of nuclear bombs or the actuality of fossil fuel have to destroy the planet. The thing that now preys upon us is not alive, has no blood running through its veins. It does not turn the planet dark, but invisibly may turn it silent. I speak, of course, of the more malevolent forms of artificial intelligence. The ones which it may potentially kill are we humans. No, not physically, but as to our essential qualities. How might that appear, sound, or feel? Let's listen to George Gabriel Michael's composition, Dystopia. Michael writes, this piece was inspired by David Bowie's mysterious song Black Star and Alex Boya's unique futuristic art. These two beautifully disturbing creations seemed the perfect fit. I saw a dystopia both in the internal and external realms of existence, the place where the things lose their place, and together the truth and reality they can become distorted and confused. And then the challenge to put the pieces back together again in some recognizable form. In the meantime, the horses of the apocalypse are coming forever closer. And then the challenge to put the pieces back together again into some recognizable form. But have we gone too far in the disassembly of things to ever put them back? He asks. In response to George Michael's query, the protagonist in my book, Death by Internet, attempts to change the way people think about compassion, empathy, but comes to the hard reality that technology itself cannot fix what technology itself has destroyed. In the preface, my protagonist explains, long before they arrested me for cyber crimes and manifest acts of violence against the government, technology invisibly quashed any semblance of free will as waves diffused, ones and zeros plugged human activity back into itself, where humans became a vital, inextricable component in a closed circuit. Technology came out of the cloud firing electric missiles that struck at the center of imagination, wresting the power to choose, to farm or forage, to make peace, to save Earth from a thermal meltdown. In less than a generation, new lexicons appeared: metadata, fail whale, Google bomb, shock site, troll, electronic medical prescription, facial recognition, crime-seeking drone. So-called friends posted facades on Facebook and bought into an illusion of connectedness while satellites surreptitiously circled the planet, compiling dossiers on law-abiding masses. Multinationals launched an array of robotized medicine, banking, and education apps that drove our cars. We measured deeds in bits, bytes, and dollars, becoming a dehumanized embodiment, a necessary cog in all manner of electronic computation and control. I chose to live off the grid, and then yes, hell yes, one day I plugged myself back into technology to answer humankind's most profound question: had we become the master of technology or its servant for executing its nondescript manifesto against the common good? For this, they called me a sociopath and charged me with cybercrimes punishable by death. We know humans are neither zombies nor savants, but employ multiple intellectual stratagems in navigating the complexities of surviving while creating art, music, prose, poetry, and invention. But in mistaking AI as a means for a better life or survival or enhanced creativity, we must be careful not to go down a path that destroys what we have regarded as our prized assets: emotion, rationality, ego, desire, ambition, sociability, and free will. In exchange for living less strenuous lives and succumbing to a one-size-fits-all thought process run through neural networks, our most cherished values, especially our independence or free will risk falling under the spell of deterministic logic of cyber machinery. Witness the US presidential election in 2016, which was corrupted by politically driven bots. Free will, we lose the power without it. Exercise, we can't. We can't exercise integrity and excellence, courage, compassion, and temperance to find our own truths, our experience, our own ingenuity. In Conserving Humanity at the Dawn of Posthuman Technology, I advanced the prediction that within the next generation, we will witness anatomically embedded processors communicating with cloud computers, which will select what we see or hear. Around the world, in totalitarian and democratic nations, to lesser and greater extents, we are already at the stage where autonomous agents track our moves physically and psychologically via AI of learning machines, natural language processing, facial recognition algorithms that curb options, training our behaviors to comply with the likes of the vigilant eye of government bureaucracies and social media conglomerates. We risk losing autonomy, making it difficult at best to exert our preference for alternative information. Social lives, decreasing our ability to engage face to face. Where Homo sapiens at the dawn of existence learned about human nature, where pheromones and perfumes passed, not to be separated by video screens, enveloped by an electromagnetic spectrum, where through a World Wide Web only electrons communicate. We mustn't ignore the onslaught of technology that rattles the foundation of what it has always meant to be human. To achieve the level of sophistication of a human thought demands that a technology have and can create an aesthetic palette and a moral fabric out of whole cloth, one that fits into the framework of human values, those which are widely considered immutable, as well as those that must change as we journey in the direction of greater enlightenment about who we are as a species, to continue to think outside the box, to improvise in life as we do in love, raising kids in our poetry, in our art, and in our music. Like many fiction writers and poets and composers, my inspiration in all cases originates in personal attachments. What you are about to listen to, A Secret Place, was stirred by memories of secret places, which I assume we each might identify with. I've researched and listened to AI-generated music, and in attempts with some success to emulate a Chopin or Beethoven. It does not create from human experience. It knows nothing about romance, about pain, about hardship, or secret places. Let's avoid being cast into a future where AI lulls us into thinking otherwise. Thank you for listening.